All right, and we are live. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Whenever you do tune in, if you don't catch us live, you can catch us on the recording, which is awesome. We appreciate all the love, the support. If you do the like and the share and the commenting, that is great. We enjoyed that and we welcome that and we thank you so much for it. Okay, so welcome to another segment, another broadcast of Transformation Series. Yay, we are here. And in case you didn't know, this platform, this FB broadcast, is actually to help us improve our lives, help us to reach our perspective of success. And guess what? It's free on this end. So yeah, it's hard to find good help, and it's hard to find good help for free. So whenever you get the opportunity to come across people such as myself, such as Dr. Sherry, who are certified and licensed and all this kind of good stuff, and we do know what we are talking about. Okay, whenever you come across sources like that, I know that I appreciate them, because it's not something that people, when we do things like this, we're not getting paid for it, but we are getting paid for it, right? Because it helps us to improve along the way and keeps us on our toes, and bringing this information to you to share it, right? So I'm your host, Katie Flowers. I am also a life success coach. I am also a business consultant as well as a visual artist. Go figure. All right. And my job, my niche, is to help people detox from anger, generalized depression, anxieties, anything that's helping you, or anything that's stopping you or have you stuck in life from being in that place where you actually want to show up in life, being that person, and helping you to reach that perspective of success. And so if you are lost, or you're stuck, or you're angry, you're feeling some type of depression going on, any of that stuff, hey, contact me. My information is also on that ticker at the bottom, and you can visit my website, and we can go from there. I offer a 30-minute free consultation, so that way we can find out if we are a good fit. There's no sense in my taking your money if I can't help you. There's no sense in you even listening to me at any point if we cannot make that connection. So this is why I offer the 30-minute consultation. Feel free to use it. You can DM me, slip in my DM. It's fine. That's cool. Or you can visit the website and take advantage of filling out one of those forms there, the correspondence email, and we can connect that way as well. I think that is that for that. Now, thank you, Dr. Cherry, Dr. Naisha Cherry, for coming again. This is also the co-host as well. So I've totally adopted and taken her as co-host. She deserves it, and so without further ado, I will allow her to introduce herself as well.
Well, thank you, Katie, for adopting me and taking me on as co-host for the show. Yeah.
Yes.
So I am Dr. Marisha Cherry. I am a mind and body coach, focusing on your health and your wellness, starting with your mindset, because we know that our mindset keeps us from doing better in life.
Hmm.
So I help women, especially, to shift their thinking, shift their thoughts and emotions, so that they can accomplish whatever goals they want to accomplish, especially around health, wellness, weight loss. We also work on other things as well in your life, because everything is interconnected.
Yes.
I
Yes.
am also a yoga instructor that's certified. I am a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified fitness trainer. So I'm here to help if you need
Awesome.
anything. And I also offer products like self-care products, candles, scrubs, body oils, essential oil rollers, bath salts. And then I also offer swimwear. So just because you may not be the size you want to be does not mean you don't need a swimsuit to go to the pool or the beach. Because guess what? We are all fine in our own right. And guys have some tips for you too. So that's a little
Awesome.
bit about me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that intro. You do a great job with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, One more thing before we go on to, I don't know if you want to mention also about your retreat, but I'm going to also talk about the free 8-week detox that I'm doing coming this August. I'm in mid August, so I'm looking for about 3 people to help out to detox from their anger, from their anxiety, from their depression, from their pain and past hurts, and all that kind of good stuff. Because as Dr. Sherry said, the mind without it, hey, we can't. It's just pretty impossible to show up in life and be that person that you want to be and reach your perspective of success. So, would you like to also say something about something, anything else that you're coming up with or happening right
Um,
now?
the only thing I would like to say is if you are a female interested in support from a free Facebook group, I do have some openings there. So feel free to join us. We have this month we're not doing a challenge, but we normally have challenges on a monthly basis to help us get healthier and happier. So answer the 3 required questions, which will entitle you to get your free gift and be a part of our group. And we would love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's called All Things Health, Wellness, and Yoga.
All things health. Man, and you know, it's so funny. Um, I was on this platform and I was talking about, I was just asking a question if anybody on this, this particular platform would be interested in an emotional detox, right? And this one girl or woman, whatever, and she says, "Well, there's nothing wrong with my mental health." I said, "Wait, hold on. It's not about your mental crazy. That's where I get that from. How your crazy status is not mental wellness is essential to just being in existence every day. Keeping a balance. Keeping yourself in check. It's similar to it's the whole body, right? It's like
Right.
you can't have dreadlocks and not wash them. That's part of the body. you know?
And her
It's
response makes me think that she needs your help. Like for you to get anxious and anxiety about that type of question or you need help in terms of your mental wellness,
hmm
um, that makes me think something's not quite right if you're getting upset about that question because as we've seen, like mental health and mental wellness, like that's important. That's like you said, it's called the body. It's your mind. And we're not taking care of our mindset, our thoughts and feelings, then we're gonna be struggling.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the whole thing about why I do what I do, because I learned some time back I had to change my thinking, right? I had to um, see life in a different way. If I was ever going to get up out of what I was in, I had to literally make the effort to change. And that's the thing that a lot of us probably don't want to do. But at the same time, we want to find a way to come up out of whatever it is that we're in, the funk that we're in, or the job or the relationship and all of that. But it's never going to really happen the way that you would like for it to happen because you're not doing the growth work. You won't put in the information that it takes,
Right.
right?
And I
So,
was reading in my devotion, and they were talking about like how diseases form in our bodies,
hmm
and they come from research that's saying that it comes from your thinking. Like when you have a lot of negative thinking, a lot of
hmm
stressful thinking or whatever, it manifests in your body.
hmm
So if you're finding that, things are starting to ache and pain you and you're not, what happened, you change the way you're thinking. And then as such, are things getting better? And you probably will see they are getting better because
hmm
that's where diseases start. And yes, people can get diseases from anything or whatever, but A lot of times they begin with how we are thinking. That's how they are triggered. The thing like they get put on because of how you're thinking.
And so this is what this segment is about, or this particular session here that we're doing is about, and it's about talking about our limiting beliefs once again, our limiting belief systems, and giving. We're literally going to give you some keys today on how you can actually conquer or manage them better, because the thing is, with when we talk about limiting belief systems and your BS systems, your belief systems, it's not that these things will ever like just totally go away, right? But the idea is to get a hold of them and see how they are affecting your life. That's the idea, right? And those things that are not conducive, those things that don't work for you any longer, they need to go. I'm not the one to tell you what you should need do, but if you're ever gonna make it up out of a situation, a negative place, and you want to see yourself in a better light, you're gonna have to do that particular growth work in order to get to that point. Okay, so excuse me. So real quickly, we'll go my notes. I always have my notes. Hey there. So limiting beliefs are thoughts, opinions that one believes to be true, absolutely true. Many have no basic foundation. They tend to have a negative impact on one's life by stopping them from moving forward and growing on a personal and professional level. And this, again, is why this topic is so important. So, most common limiting beliefs is fear of success, fear of failure, fear not being good enough to achieve what we want, fear of not being loved and being lovable or being unlovable, fear of rejection, generally leading to avoidance, right? And relationships or people pleaser, right? So a lot of times we want to we don't see it as a limiting belief thing, but when we become people pleasers, it's like we got to do, we're all concerned about what this person thinks, what this person doesn't think about us, all this kind of stuff. Man, that would keep you so just petrified and paranoid. And you just, you don't make no moves. You don't want to, all of a sudden, you want to make the moves like with working out. But you won't go there because perhaps someone in time has said, well, look at your body, you're fat, it's never going to change, blah, blah, blah. So now you got this thought in your head, in your subconscious, even if you think it's not there, is there. Because that's how limiting beliefs are created, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through someone's voice telling you something, especially someone that you probably admire, respect, or whatever.
Or they
You
may
know,
say something like, um, how are you going to look on the equipment in the gym? People are going to talk about you, or having that thought. People will talk about you. They're going to look at you like, what you doing here at the gym? Or you're not going to know how to use the equipment, stuff like that. But you can learn how to use the equipment. That's no excuse. And no matter what size you are, you need to move your body. That's no excuse.
simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. And honestly, talking about when you're talking about the fitness thing, me personally, I've never been small. I've never been a small person, and I've wanted to be because it seemed like, oh, where these were the ones that were getting chosen. And on TV, you see it all the time. They're really thin, you know. But then I began to really be comfortable in. But I had to decide. I had to decide. You know what? I'm no longer going to allow someone to make me feel uncomfortable in my own body. It's just
Right, and
not
that
going to
is
happen.
just basically supporting the limiting belief when you're looking at TV and all you see is the slim girls, women. It's like that's supporting, that's a reference. So that helps solidify the limiting belief to make you think, oh, that's a fact, which is not.
Which is not.
Hmm.
And like I said, it doesn't mean that you're unhealthy
Right.
because you may be of a certain weight. or a certain size. And it doesn't mean that you're healthy because you're a certain weight or a certain size. You know, but either way it goes, I believe strongly that it all starts in the mind and
Me
how you
too.
decide to see it.
Yes.
Right? It does. It really starts there. So, excuse me. Um, let's see. In my notes, it says, a lot of the cause for our behavior, our actions in life, is due to our limiting beliefs. So we kind of talked about that, right? Um, when it's like when we start, okay, how do I put this? I know you've heard this too, because I even say it all the time, and I'm sure you've read it. And it goes, our thoughts create our emotions create our actions, and our actions create our results, right?
Yes.
Whew.
I said
So
it all.
I hound this into. I'm telling. I don't care what the client comes to me about. This is the first thing that we kind of go over.
Same here. Yes.
Yes, we have to get that. We have to recognize and confront ourselves with the way in which we are thinking about things,
Mhm.
because it's not the situation. A lot of times, most of the time, it's not the situation. It's how we are seeing it,
Yes.
how we are thinking about it.
Because the situation is neutral until we assign our own thoughts and feelings to it.
Right. you know, right. And so then once we acknowledge that, okay, we are willing to take accountability and responsibility for ourselves and how we want to show up in life, I mean, it just opens up so much more confidence. Our confidence level helps to build our self-esteem, right? It's like all of a sudden, okay, I get it. It's clicked now. It's not about these other people. It's not so much about them. It's all about me. Everything that happens in my life at this point, it's about my control. What didn't I do? What should I have done? What could I have done? Can I do something different? How can I improve this? But if you keep just refusing to do that, then yeah, you're gonna keep getting the same results that you've been getting that hasn't gotten you where you want to really be,
And instead
right?
of that self-examination that you're talking about, people will say, what did she do? What did he do? What didn't he or she do? They want to try to control things that are outside their control. But you can only control within your locus of control, which is yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your environment. Like you can choose to move to a different environment. You can choose
Mm-hmm.
to change your thoughts. You can choose to change your feelings. You just have to follow through and do it. And
Yeah.
stop trying to worry about what each and every other person is doing and how they contributed to your success or lack thereof. It all falls within you.
It all falls to you. It really does. And I think that that's a problem with a lot of us today too, is that we have been taught that, yeah, it's all about me, but that all about me encompasses you accepting me as I show up to you. You know, if I have a bad attitude, well, that's just me, and you are to deal with that. You are this. If you don't deal with that, then you don't love me, or you have no care for me, right? Because all of a sudden, it's this unconditional love thing happening, which is it plays a big part in our belief system too, and that's why I'm mentioning that, because now you got this belief system that I'm supposed to be loved just because I show up, just because I'm willing to be a part of your life, and love me or leave me, and you end up getting left, right? you know, all of a sudden you're not invited to the parties, and then if you do show up, nobody wants to be around you long. Um, People are not calling you up for dinners and just to be kind to you. No, they don't want to be bothered with you, because you've decided in your mind that just deal with me, deal with my rudeness, deal with whatever. And, and, and that's not fair. It's just not fair to expect people to um, deal with another person or yourself like that, you know, which is another reason why I did the growth work. Got to do the growth work.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you. And people
yeah.
don't want to do the work. Like they just don't want to. They put up defenses. I'm not going to do it. No, I can't change, and all those kind of things to prevent themselves from being able to put in the work.
And then you're still stuck
Yeah,
where you were. You
exactly.
haven't. So, um, once again, a lot of this has to do with the way that we're thinking about things
Mhm.
and the way that we've been told to think about things rather than examining and exploring those concepts. You
Mhm.
know, where did they come from? How true are they?
Right.
You know.
And the reason that they were true is that our reasons still valid. Like
Mhm.
debunk that.
Are they valid and are they still valid?
Mhm.
Exactly. So, um, yeah, so, and let me see where we are in my notes. So, yeah, so they come from, limiting beliefs come from unkind remarks from others, verbally abusive parents or guardians or whatever. And a lot of times, like I said, we get those things stuck in our core self. You know, like, you're not good at math. Well, no, I know I'm not good at math, but do I develop this fixed mindset that I'm never going to be good at math, right? Or do I decide to have a growth mindset and say, you know what, okay, I'm not that great in this particular subject or doing this particular job, but I can learn. I'm open to learning, right?
Open to learning. That is so important because that keeps so many people back when they're not open to learn new things.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have to, in the process of being open to learning, means that we have to let go of the things that we think we know already.
Yeah,
You
let go.
know, we have to just kind of be open to, yes, letting, wait, don't, you know, I got it. Hold on. We just gonna say that one time. Let it go. Let it go. We are one with the wind and night. You gotta let it go.
Right. Oh my God.
I do not own the rights to that song, by the way. But you know, you have to be able to let certain things go. And this
Mhm.
is it. I say the earlier that you get a hold to these particular things that we're sharing, the better your life would be. These things should be taught in school at an early age, right? About fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. And you would see that it would be much better adults um, in society,
Mhm.
you know, much better neighbors,
Mhm.
all that. But anyway, that's just, I'm not gonna get on the spiel with that, but that I'm really for this being taught in schools
Yeah.
to our kids at a very early age. I'm for all this. So um, now we can move on, I suppose, to how to tackle. And here are the keys. So how to tackle um, and find the source of your limiting beliefs, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, what would you say? Um, what would you give for that? How to tackle that?
Well, first you have to be able to identify what a limiting belief is. And that can be kind of hard because um, a lot of times we're conditioned to think a certain way. We have a lot of references that we refer back to that help support the limiting belief. And so if you find that you're trying to do some things and you're either making excuses, you're talking about what you're afraid of, you are procrastinating, you need to focus on perfectionism, you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, oh, I might fail or I might make a mistake, you're worrying a whole lot, you're complaining, your thoughts are negative, you're talking to yourself negatively. maybe you have some unhelpful habits, you jump into conclusions. If you're doing these kinds of things, then it's probably related to a limited belief. So you need to step back and think, where did this come from? So that would help you to identify your limiting beliefs when you're working towards a desired outcome. So that would, I would say, is number one.
Mm-hmm. And you know, you said something really interesting there about perfectionism. A lot of people have that description or that idea of what that actually is so incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
When you, as a perfectionist, the downside of being a perfectionist is being a people pleaser. That's really what a perfectionist is.
Yes.
They want to make sure that everything is right for the other person, so they never end up getting it exactly right because they never feel comfortable enough that it is correct due to what they think other people are thinking, right? It's a vicious cycle. So so I wanted to just point that out because I hear some people say that, you know, well, I'm a perfectionist, and I'm like, do you really know what that means? You know, because they don't want to be a people pleaser, but that's what you are. If that's what you're saying, you're
Right, because it's never good enough for whoever has to see it or deal with it. So yeah, you're right. But we have to remember that none of us are perfect. No human being is perfect.
none. Nobody. No one is perfect. We can shoot for it, but uh,
That's not
no, it's never not gonna happen.
right.
So, and that's why it's so important to decide. You have to decide. These are choices that you make in your life along the way, and so you have to decide what's worth to you. What is all this worth to you? What is showing up as your best self in life worth to you? You know, what is reaching your perspective of success worth to you? Some people don't care. You know, it is what it is. You know, they've gotten they are so ingrained, these things in their minds are so deep till they've gotten comfortable because it's where they are is familiar, and so they become afraid to make that shift. And once again, that has to do with pleasing others, and that has to do also with that fear of not being good enough, not being afraid of being successful. That has happened.
Yes.
I have dealt with that. You know, being afraid that you're not smart enough, even though you've read every book under the sun in that topic that you care about. You still don't feel that, hey, you know enough. When you're walking around here with more information than probably your whole community. You
Right.
know?
All that stands for limiting beliefs, though.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. So, um, okay. So my take on, which is similar to what you just said, and I would say also to write down your limiting beliefs, right? And so we can, and a good, you can even Google what is limiting beliefs, and it's going to come up with a whole plethora of thoughts that people have that connects you to exploring and defining your own limiting beliefs, right? Because they're there, whether you know them or like them or not, they're there. So once you identify, I would say write down your limiting beliefs. Determine what instilled these beliefs. Where did they come from? Where did that
Yes.
voice come from?
Yes.
Right? It
I
came from
like it.
someplace.
Exactly. Figure it out.
You didn't give it to yourself. Trust that. It's
Nope.
not yours. It's not your stuff.
Mm-mm.
Um, determine your new positive beliefs, and we'll talk about that for a second too. But I'm going to move on. So, also look for evidence of
Mm-hmm.
your beliefs being what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm not going to go on a religious type of thing. I'm just not going to do that. But I want to use something that relates to our thought process, right? It kind of connects in a sense, or it helps me describe what I'm saying. So even with religion, it's instead of just saying, okay, I'm going on this by faith. Now, if that works for you, that's, I'm not saying, you know, but I'm saying if something in that system does not work for you, does not click for you or serve you anymore, that may be an area where you may want to dig a bit deeper, you know, and you may want to find out if certain things are true that can fit your way of understanding what truth is. Because remember, you are at this point developing your own belief system. You're going to disconnect yourself from that person who told you this is your belief system. So now you're going to step in your power, and you're going to take your power back, and you're going to create and have your own belief system to live by, right? So that's so empowering, you know, because now you're not under the auspicion or guise of someone else's thoughts.
Right, you're creating your own evidence to strengthen your new belief system. Like you're finding evidence to say, "Oh yeah, this support what I believe. This support what I want to believe in," and you're empowering yourself by being able to do that.
Yes, yes, it's so freeing. OMG. Um, the other is think of the worst case and how you will overcome it. So this is the fear that a lot of times we have when we are changing and looking into exploring and examining our belief system. There is a fear that comes about. Sometimes we term it resistance, you know, because of the familiarity that we have. Not so much as that this thing that we believe has served our, have served us or is serving us. It's just that, you know, we're just scared to not go there. Like, for instance, an example, when I stopped celebrating holidays and birthdays and stuff, it's not so much about my religion, because I don't have a religion, but it was once I started going into, you know, finding these things out. Where did they come from? Why are they even in existence? And why should I feel that I have to partake in it, you know? And so once I started reading and opening my mind up to seeing things a different way, that allowed me to say, okay, I'm done with all of that. Now, do I have people that don't understand why? Yeah. I got, you know, friends and family that are like, that makes no sense to me. But I'm like, you didn't do the research that I've done. You know, maybe if you opened your mind up to do the research that I've done, maybe you would kind of see things differently, or maybe you will see how I can feel the way I do, and there wouldn't be such, you know, hard feelings sometimes. Because no, I'm not buying birthday presents and all that. You don't have to buy me one. You know, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, and you know, I know that sounds harsh, but
No,
I
it's
said,
the same thing. She's the
you
same
know,
thing.
I'm
So,
not doing it. All that Christmas standing up on your feet, swelling, and all this kind of stuff, you know. And girl, please. And I remember growing up as a kid, some parents would spend their rent money and their utility money, and then here come the 1st of January, and your lights are off, nothing in the refrigerator, and broken up Tonka toys and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, you didn't spend your money on it. No, I'm not doing it. You know, it's just, I can find better things to do with that money. I can, if I care about my kids, you know, education and my grandkids' education, I can put that money in a fund. You know what I mean? That's going to really help them out. So, anyway, that's this venture off into my how I have to work with my belief system. And then the other thing is you can recite affirmations.
yes, that'll help strengthen your belief system because that's something your new belief system. You have to strengthen it, otherwise you'll revert back to your old limiting beliefs. So those affirmations are a great way to strengthen your new way of believing. Hmm.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And I tell you this too, with when you are finding your new belief system, or you're checking out your belief system or your limiting belief system, um, you really, it's important that you just really are open to being able to make that change, but the way in which you make that change is to create another voice, another, your own voice, your own words, right? You're gonna instead of saying like, okay, this is one woman, she said anybody else struggling in their business, and I'm like, first of all, I don't use the word struggle anymore.
Mhm.
I just removed that, and instead of saying I'm struggling in my business, I will say I am doing things to make my business come into fruition, something like that. you
Mhm.
know I am exploring ways that I can help my business grow, right? So instead of struggling, I put exploring. So it's like you want to, yeah, it's a mind game, call it what you want, but your mind has been gamed all along.
Yes, right. And so basically what you're doing is making room for your new beliefs in your life, which is what's important because you're changing your thought patterns, your words, your actions. You may change your environment, you're changing your language. All of this stuff helps to make room for the new belief because the old belief will creep back in if you don't make the room for it. So you're having
Yes.
a lifestyle change, and that's important when you want to implement a new belief system.
Yes, yes, and that is so important. And the reason why a lot of times our the affirmations may not work as successful a lot of times is because we're not speaking words that are familiar to our subconscious, to our mind, to our own brain, right? So as soon as you say something like "I'm rich," and you're not, your brain is like, no, we're not. It's like, no, we're not, and we're probably never gonna be. I mean, this is your brain is only doing what it's supposed to do. It's trying to protect you, right? And it's trying to get you not to be set up, right? So you won't get played. It is what it is, right? And so
Right.
And so then, now you got to play this game with your own mind. And it's like, you know what? I hear what you're saying. But this is what I'm telling you because I'm in control. I'm taking over, right? And it's like, because
Mhm.
here's the thing. A lot of times we don't understand this unless we go into psychology or whatever. But it's like our brain is not us, right? It's not. It's like we are, it's like with meditation, right? If you ever meditate or just sit consciously and for a minute and just go just be quiet for you, and you can actually like hear all those thoughts and you're going to see all those thoughts. But that's you looking in on yourself when this is happening, right? So now it's like, okay, now that I know this, I can actually step back and change my way of thinking. I have control over that. Now, I'm not saying it works like that. For a lot of us, it does not. It's going to take, some practice to do this.
And
But
work.
every day, it's a daily thing. But every time, you have to say things that makes truth for you, right? So like once again, I use that my business is struggling. Okay, I hear my eyes is telling my brain, I hear what my brain is telling me, but I'm going to tell my brain, no, I see my business growing, but right now I'm doing things to explore how to make this happen, right? So it's those words. Words are very powerful. Words is what helps us to build our world and gives us the result that we have today and that we're going to have tomorrow and so forth.
Exactly. And when you're doing affirmations, maybe you may have to like switch it up a little bit. So if your brain is really fighting you on the I am rich, then maybe you can say I am abundant. Because guess what? Abundance comes in so many different forms, not just money. And so you can say I am abundant or abundance
Hmm.
flows easily to me. That's my favorite. So
I
abundance
like that one too. Money flows
easily.
to me.
Uh, Abundance flows easily and effortlessly to me. So you may have to, switch it up until you can really get to the point where you want to say, I am rich, and believe it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And one day and believe it or not, if you hang in there, it's going to be some challenges. It's going to be some trying times where, it's not going to look like anything is happening. But you have to open up your mouth and speak these things out of from your mouth and create affirmations that's not going against your brain. Because as soon, like with that I am rich, some people, hey, they feel that way. But if that's not your world, if that's not how you really seeing things, it's only going to backfire on you. You're going to end up seeing more lack.
Right.
It just works that way.
Yeah. And so and your words come from what you're thinking, right? So
Mhm.
your thoughts, those are the seeds for what you speak. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
you're right, it will backfire. So, like I said, you got to kind of comfort your brain, like, okay, brain, like it's a baby. I know, you may not really feel this way, but let me do it this way.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, you have to
So
comfort
like,
your brain.
yeah, yeah. Hey, sure. And you got to tweak it, you know. And I'm also a firm believer also, and sometimes you may have to fake it till you make it. Now this doesn't mean that you're living a life of some a way that's not true or authentic to you. But okay, quick example. When I was trying to get into the School of the Art Institute of Chicago many years ago, and I really wanted to be there because I felt like I just need that was just where I was supposed to be. Oh, I could not. I mean, it took three times. They rejected me twice. They rejected me. The third time they took me in, and I was just really devastated at first because I'm like, I know I belong in that school. But what I had to do, my mom told me this. Bless her, she did tell me that. She said, Kate, if you really want to be in that school, start acting like you're there already. She said, what do artists do? How do they look? What do they carry? you know? And so I said, oh, wow. So I went and bought one of those anti-shake cases for artists to keep their work. And at the time I was working at the police department. And so but I would carry my work in there every day. And and I just started being authentically me. If I wanted to wear my hair crazy, I wore it crazy. If I want, what you gonna do? Fire me? Okay, well, fine. I was a young woman at the time, so I'm thinking, the world is pretty much my oyster. You fire me, I'll find another job. But crazy me. But that's not crazy thinking. But it was just, if I was where I am now, I wouldn't be thinking like that. That's how you think. But anyway, my point is this: I had to start acting like this is where I am. This is where I'm going to be. And so I started to do that. And whenever I walked inside that building, I had that case with me with my work in there, my brushes and everything. And sure enough, that third try, it was a charm. It was like, okay,
You know what
you
I
know.
call that? I don't call it faking it till you make it. I call it faith it until you make it. So you had the faith and belief that you was going to get into the art school. You carried yourself as such when it happened.
And it happened.
So
And it happened.
I say, take it until I make it. So for example, with my clients, it's like, okay, you say you want to weigh 165 pounds, so guess what? You need to eat and behave as a woman who weighs 165 pounds. Not as a woman who weighs 205 pounds or whatever their weight is currently. So same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Live it
Mm-hmm.
out. Make
Mm-hmm.
it happen.
Yep. Yep. So, and there you have it. So I hope those were good keys to follow through with. Let me see. I want to make sure. Oh, okay. Here's something else, real quick. Some other stuff: how to tackle your and manage your beliefs, your limiting beliefs. As we kind of said already too, but find the source of the belief. Okay. Now think about how that belief has shown up throughout your entire life. right? You want to give it some thought. How did that happen? And every time this belief shows up, what's going on, right? And then acknowledge the belief or how it has served you. Acknowledge how is it helping you today. Then release the belief if there's no evidence found for it, right? Release it. So, and then rewrite your belief system. Okay. So those things, I'll try to put that in the comments. Go ahead, Dr. Sherry. You said you want to say something.
Yeah, with the rewriting your beliefs. So like when you replace a limiting belief with an empowering belief, you want to make sure that it's filling a void for you or eliminating a void. Because if
Mm.
not, you'll go back to that limiting belief. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing I would say. And then also like how you were saying, where did the beliefs come from? Questioning the limiting belief. Question it. When was it helpful? When was it not helpful? Is it helpful now? Is it
Mm-hmm.
not helpful now? If it's not helpful now, that makes it limiting and it needs to be replaced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. All right. So that pretty much sums it up here. And I really hope that we have helped. Let us know. The only way that we're going to know if we're helping anybody is that you let us know. I'm also putting out a survey. I think the other survey that I put out, it just, I don't know what was going on with it. It just wasn't working right. The links wasn't working right. So, but be looking out for that this month. I will be putting out our survey. And please, take the time and fill it out. I think we're going to offer about $10, buy your lunch or put some gas in your car, or maybe even you can just gift it to somebody else. But anyway, it's just our way of saying thank you for taking the time out to participate in the survey. Other than that, we do hope you have a really, really fantastic day and weekend. Get in touch with us. Like I said, DM. I'm sure Dr. Cherry wouldn't mind you slipping in her DM either, right? So, and you do also have our websites. I would probably be putting this information also in the comment area, and probably, if not right away, it will be there sometime today if you wanted to look back and just kind of go over what we were talking about. So, hopefully that was helpful. Dr. Sherry, would you like to say anything?
I think that's it.
That's it?
Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember to put hashtag replay to watching the replay. And thank you again.
Yes, thank you. So you don't go anywhere, Dr. Cherry. We will be connecting soon after. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. And please watch the recording. Please like, share, and all that good stuff. Hey, and let us know if you have anything that you would like to talk about in particular. I mean, we can cover just about anything, right? Just about. And if we can't cover it, we'll find out, right? All right. Take care for now. Did I leave it?